We're diving into self-growth, relationships, spirituality. Welcome in, everybody. Any questions are welcome. Anything you're struggling with, anything you're trying to advance within your life. We just started the live about 10 seconds ago, so everyone who's jumping in, feel free to throw some questions down below. Welcome in, everybody. We got TikTok over here, YouTube over there. We're going to be answering your guys' questions. Self-growth, relationships, dating, spirituality, like it says up here. I've helped over 100 men and women in my coaching practice over the last year since I started it. So awesome to have you guys in here. So we're giving you guys some advice. Anything you're struggling with, you're trying to create in your life, we're here to dive into it with you. So welcome in, Rose. Welcome in. Let's see. Hopefully we get some more people in here today. We shall see. Alrighty. Any questions are welcome, guys. I'm a little chilly out here. I just decided to go live here today, so might have to put my hood up in a few minutes. We'll see what's going on, but what's going on, Tanner? Welcome back in. Any questions are welcome, guys. It's I think like 35 degrees out here, so it's not that bad, but welcome in, everybody. Feel free to throw some questions down below and we'll help you guys out. Any questions are welcome. Alrighty. Might have some people occasionally walking behind us. I'm outside of the library, but I don't think there's gonna be that many people since it's the evening. But we got a nice black background. That's you're like, I'm like in the abyss, bro. I'm in the abyss. Tanner, I need to watch the video that you sent me. Yeah, bro. Let me know how it goes. I got 300 plus exclusive videos that I use for coaching. A lot of them are around an hour long. And of course, I have like regular YouTube videos and of course the short form stuff that you can kind of check out on here as well. But yeah, keep me updated on how it goes. Keep me updated on some of your reflections if it's helpful. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Any questions are welcome. Self-growth, relationships, spirituality. Sounds good, Tanner. Looking forward to it. Yeah, everyone who's jumping in. We only got a few people in here right now, but any questions are welcome. Whatever you guys want to dive into. We're here to help you guys out. Alrighty. Am I religious? It's a good question. I'm not religious particularly, but I do like to coin myself, you could say, as a pretty spiritual person. I always look into different religions. I'm very curious about philosophy. So although I don't have a set point or set belief on a particular religion, I find it very intriguing and I connect to a lot of morals and values and virtues and things of that nature that a lot of different religions promote. But I don't particularly subscribe to one over the other at this exact moment in time. How do I stay positive despite all this negativity nowadays? It's a good question. So, I mean, look, a lot of people will do everything in their power to stay in a negative place, not because they want to, but because it's comfortable. Meaning they don't know what true look, getting from misery or not feeling comfortable within yourself to getting to true happiness and getting to contentment and fulfillment in your life, it takes work. It really does. And it's not an easy process. So people would rather avoid that work and do things like complaining, bringing other people down, causing chaos and havoc, right? The best thing to do is to distance yourself as much as you can, because you can't avoid negativity entirely in your life, but the people that you can avoid them. You can try having a conversation about it with them, confronting them on their behavior, but if that doesn't work, it doesn't allow any sort of internal dialogue to shift and for them to change their behavior, they have to go, right? If we've all heard the saying of you're the sum of the 5 people you surround yourself with. Might not be close friends of yours, just people you're around constantly, right, at your workplace and things of that nature. That can be a little bit more challenging, but with all the staying positive despite all the negativity, understand that you are focused on growth and certain other people aren't, and that's okay. You're living your own experience, and the cool thing is as you spread that more to other people, it comes back to you in karmic cycles, but as well as in the manifestations of people in certain situations. So as long as you keep doing good and keep pushing forward, it may not come to you immediately, but it most definitely will. Don't doubt that at all, and you'll be good. Have I read Rational Male? I have not. What is that book about? Any books you'd recommend to help with self-image? Good question. Self-image. I haven't read any books around. Oh, actually, self-image, a lot of it could be physical, mental, your identity. I will say Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins was a very motivational book that challenges your identity and your limits and your beliefs about yourself. So I think that's the one book I've read that kind of helps with self-image. Actually, and then in a more spiritual sense, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. That dives into a lot of the emotional body, the mind, the separation, the awareness, and how all of this is integrated together, but it's also in some way, shape, or form separate. And you can kind of draft your own. There's a lot of like practical exercises, I guess you could say, in there as well. AJ said, Bradley, I know you're a life coach, but what if I was really bad at drumming and needed that coaching? That's actually good. Actually, AJ, I play drums myself, crazy enough, and I've been playing for about 8 years. So if you're bad at drums, I could give you a drum lesson. I'd be more than happy to do that. I don't like do it for work, but like, dude, if we wanted to like meet on Zoom one day, I'd be more than happy to like give you a free drum lesson, dude. Like, absolutely. So yeah, if that's a genuine question, I could help you out. I could help you out, bro. Lose body fat so you can look better. Raise Shand. Have you been going to the gym? Have you been watching what you eat? Where's the starting place for you right now? Messia said good night. What's going on? Dari, what's going on? How are you doing? You doing all right? It's like 35 degrees out here. I'm in Fahrenheit. A lot of other countries are in Celsius, I think. So that's probably like warm for you guys. I don't know. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in YouTube. Welcome in everybody on TikTok. AJ, no shot, AJ. You've been following me for like 2 months and you just followed me. Like, you've been like jumping on the live stream. There's no shot you just shot me a follow. That's actually crazy. We did the impossible. We got AJ to like fully subscribe to the channel. That's dope. That's dope. Welcome in, everybody. Is that a flight jacket I see? I like planes. I got this at like Burlington or something, probably for like $40 or something. I don't think it's a flight jacket, but maybe. What state am I in? I'm on the East Coast. I usually don't like to tell people exactly where I am, but I'm on the East Coast of the U.S. Whew. Welcome in, everybody. Yeah, we got snow on the ground. You see that? Not grass. It's snow. Yeah, it's definitely been frustrating because like we usually have like about 50 to 100 people on the TikTok live consistently. In the last like 3 days, it's been a little bit. The algorithm's not pushing as much because of some other stuff going on, but appreciate you guys jumping in. Appreciate you guys being here. She didn't block me on anything after the breakup. What's the meaning of this? She wants to still see what you're up to just from a distance. Whether you want to block her or not is completely your decision, but I will say it's not going to be super beneficial for you guys to check up on each other. It's just going to allow you to still fixate on her and her to fixate on you without actually moving forward effectively. So if you're not planning on getting back together, look, you don't need to block her, but definitely unfollow her so you don't you're scrolling throughout your day, having a good day, and you randomly see a new picture of her and you start thinking about her, and like, there's no reason for that. It doesn't help you. Gabriella said, me too, I live on the East Coast. My snow melted already because of the rain. Yeah, we got like, not 8 inches of snow, but like, there's a pile right there. That's like, at least like, 4 feet. Maybe like 5. So. Do you know your smile is very cute? I do have a very fulfilling relationship with my girlfriend, but I do appreciate the compliment. It's not snowing currently, but it did a few days ago. She broke up with me though. How do I manage the pressures of university? Well, you want to get yourself out there and have conversations with people, meet as many people as possible, but you don't want to get stuck up in, let's say, a culture that you don't want to. But I don't know where your head's at with that. But Will, if you want to shoot me a follow and a DM, I have multiple lectures I've done about processing heartbreak, processing pain. I could shoot that over to you. That'll really help you out. And then we can also dive deeper into like what the pressures are of university. But feel free to throw some more questions down here too. Jenny said, no, she wants you to see her life. She doesn't care about yours. That's a possibility, but it could also be vice versa. Like, my ex-girlfriend didn't block me on everything, and every 2 weeks she would go and look at my stuff. So I blocked her now because I'm like, I don't want her anywhere near my life. But you never know, Jenny. It could be both ways. What is one thing you think people should strive for in life? Hmm, to find what your to find your soul's calling. That could be in the manifestation of work, of passion, of play, of relationships, and optimally, it's actually the integration of all of them. You find things that you're exceptionally connected to when it comes to your work, when it comes to passions, when it comes to hobbies, when it comes to all your relationships. So, what I think one thing people should strive for in life is fulfillment. And that, of course, creates itself differently for everybody. But in a lot of the things that I just mentioned, is the way that people get that, and most people do something for work that they hate. Most people are in a relationship or a marriage that they don't really care about them that much. Most people make the wrong decisions and then don't learn the lessons and don't ever make the right ones. I guess one thing people should strive for in life is to learn from every single mistake that they make, because you'll keep making them. So don't try and convince yourself I can't make any mistakes. I need to work on not making any mistakes. That's impossible. Focus on actually learning the lessons so you don't repeat them. That's the key. Um, why that sucks? You blocked her on everything, but wanting to reach out. Yeah, if you guys, not going to be a good idea. Cheers from Northern Ontario. What's going on? Welcome in. Yeah, I know we were going back and forth in the short stack. We were going back and forth in the DMs. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Um, Pending, what's going on? Oh, you must be coming from the video that's still going viral a week later. Weren't you the guy that said women should be scared that men are lonely? I didn't say that women should be scared that are lonely. I said women that are promoting men to be more lonely is a dangerous thing to do. That is what I said. Do opposite gender friendships always get complicated at some point and is best to avoid? Look, TikTok, I'm not here to convince you and say you can't be friends with a girl if you're a guy, but I will say from every friendship that I've ever had with a woman, and also every friendship that I've ever witnessed anyone have, from the male side and from the female side, it always gets complicated at some point, yes. There's very few cases where it doesn't. So, I mean, look, be my guest, and if you genuinely feel like you can maintain the friendship capacity, do it. But, like, even the girls that I was friends with and I had no intentions of anything romantically involved, once in a while, I just think to myself, like, yeah, I could sleep with her, right? It's just something that pops up since they're of the opposite gender. You're, as a man, attracted to a woman or vice versa. There's something that always comes up. So I mean, look, I went in most cases I would say avoid it, but I'm not here to tell you what to do. Just kind of help you make a good decision for yourself. Hi, you're so nice. Bye. All right, MJ, welcome in. What happened when, after 5 years of marriage, he decided to be a full-blown alcoholic? Well, it means that he, for either 5 years or more, or less, he's going through something personally that he's not telling you about. He's avoiding processing some sort of pain. He's in deep avoidance of something, and this is a coping mechanism. So after 5 years of rejection of this, or after maybe just the last year, he then started to pick this up. Do you have any idea of why he might be picking this up? I know you sent me a bunch of DMs and I didn't get back to you yet, but we'll have to still dive into it here. Pixel said, bad idea to date a coworker. That is a good question. A lot of people say yes, but here's the thing: a lot of people that get married meet their wives or husbands at work. So it's not particularly a bad idea to date a coworker if you're exceptionally connected to each other. If you're seeing this more as like a short-term fling, then someone's probably going to get heartbroken at some point, and then like it'll be awkward at work. But if you genuinely believe that this girl could be the one for you, or you're that interested in her and she's on board with it, just because she's your coworker, don't not do it. So I'd say, in certain cases, it's a bad idea, but if you guys feel really connected to each other, go for it, right? Who cares that you work together? Screw it. He owned the house. I've only been out here for like 15 minutes. I'm starting to get really chilly. He owned the house before our relationship, but I've been supporting and I plan to take the house. Oh, you guys getting divorced? What's the situation here? A said, is lusting normal? That's a good question. It is normal to experience it, but it is not particularly healthy to feed into it. It, in many cases, drains your energy, it drains your soul, it makes you view people more as short-term pleasurable experiences to meet your own needs without meeting theirs, and it's kind of like the selfish endeavor. So it's normal to experience it. To nurture it is not a positive thing. So you want to find a way to, because lust integrated properly in love can be great, but when there's no love present, it's very self-centered. It's instant gratification, and there's no depth to it. And if you're looking for fulfillment, love, and connection in your life, lust isn't going to get that for you. Bano said, "I need help. What do you need help with?" Mariam, what's going on? If I don't like my name and surname, should I change it? People make fun of me for it. Most likely not, because this comes down to your identity, right? Essentially, what's going on here is because of the way people perceive you, you then perceive yourself that way. But it's further reflecting of your identity and how you view yourself, and you can't take criticism from people. So here's the problem. If you do change your name to, let's say, something you like, this insecurity will probably come up in another area of life and keep popping up until you find a way to address it. It's not the insecurity you're experiencing doesn't have to do with the name. It's just manifesting itself in the form of people making fun of you for that. Does that make sense? Right? So, where does this insecurity stem? And where is it spreading in other areas of my life too? Because it's not just going to be for that. Oh, it's bright and sunny near you, Travis? Yeah, it's like 8 p.m. near me. I retain the lawyer and self-preservation, yes, if things don't change. Okay. Alright. Well, yeah, we definitely got to dive into this deeper in the DMs. Leia said, I don't have many male friends, but my man has female friends. It makes me uncomfortable. Any thoughts? I don't have any male friends by choice, not by his request. Thought this might be something important to add. Okay. So, him having female friends makes you feel uncomfortable. That's valid. Have you had a conversation with him about this? Or is it just something it's just been circulating in your mind? I see. I've asked him to cut them off, but he says he's known them longer than he's known me. Yeah, that's avoiding the actual fundamental issue that's going here. Here's the thing, and me and my girl have talked about this, and, it's like, she said herself, you don't see my mom or your dad or my dad having female friends or having male friends, right? Because they're that committed to each other. We just need each other. In a lot of ways, males being friends with girls, and girls being friends with guys in many ways, is to kind of compartmentalize your needs and get attention from other people still. It's not in some way, shape, or form, not like a backup option for your relationship, but he still gets attention from them. And look, you know how it is as a woman. It's the same thing for a guy. Getting attention from the opposite gender, it feels good. If you find them attractive in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, if you think they're ugly and then you think they're a creep. But anyway, I'm not sitting here and saying he finds them attractive. I don't want to make any generalizations. I don't know what's going on with him. But in many ways, your female friendships don't really serve you that much. Like, a lot of guys don't really find conversations with girls that aren't their girlfriends that interesting. And a lot of girls don't find conversations that guys are having very interesting, right? So there's usually something else going on there, but again, not guaranteed. But yeah, you've asked him to cut them off. He says, but his saying of he's known them longer than he's known you is not, like, that's not a valid reason, right? So you guys definitely got to dive into it a little bit deeper. And I can also shoot you Leia, I can shoot you over, if you want to remind me, shoot me a DM now. I can shoot you over a lecture I did. A part of that, the first part of that lecture was me talking about how it's very challenging for men and women to be friends. How do I stand up for what I believe in? You need an exceptional amount of connection to it, and to test the waters, like in conversations where you think someone might disagree with you, throw it out there to see that you can stand your ground and have conversations about this. Right? You got to do it in a small capacity first. You don't have any friends, you don't feel like you're attractive. Well, there's things you can do to work on your physical appearance, and you can get more friends. Don't let that infringe on your self-worth, eh? They're separate things. Good questions, guys. Good questions. New map unlocked, Cowgirl said. Yeah, we got a new map. Honestly, I've been thinking like, yo, what if we do a new map every day? Like every day I go to a different location and do the lives. That could be dope. I used to only do it at my place because of like certain background stuff I would use, but now we have like the life coach and stuff like that. So, um, I don't really need to be anywhere in particular. Can you solve 2x equals 5 without looking it up? That's a middle school level problem. I cannot. Math was my least. I was never bad at school. I always hated it, but I was never bad at it, except math. Math was always like the most challenging thing for me. So no, Bernie, I can't answer it. My math intellect is lower than a middle school person. 5/2. Joe said, "Is that right, Bernie? Is it 5/2?" DLT on YouTube said, "What are we doing?" So I run my self-development coaching practice. We're giving advice on self-growth, advancing your relationships, growing spiritually. It's almost spring. That absolutely is. Oh, it is correct. Good job, Joe. Joe knows his stuff. Joe knows his stuff. Do you think religiosity is inversely correlated with IQ? Oh, that's a good question. Not necessarily. I mean, I think there's spectrums to it. Like, there's certain people that are not very intelligent and just pray to God to save them. And there's people that are exceptionally intelligent that pray to God to save them. So I don't think it's, like, directly correlated with it. But there are certain people that use religion as a coping mechanism. That is possible, although the entirety of it is not, of course, built on that. Well, I mean, depending on your philosophy, some people think all of religion and spirituality is coping for like the existence that doesn't make sense. But it's all subjective. What's going on, Lex? Noah said, I saw my ex after a long time. He turned around and looked at me for a long time. What does that mean? Where did you see each other? Oh, your question was why. The data says it is inversely correlated with it. I'll have to get back to you on that. Shoot me a DM about that. I gotta think more about that. It's a very deep question. The only thing I was good at was math, which is why my bachelor degree is in finance. There you go. CJ can teach me a lot. Yeah, math has never been fun for me. Never been fun. Welcome in, everyone. Throw some questions down below. We'll help you guys out. Self-growth, relationships, spirituality. But yeah, Noah, when it comes to the situation with your ex, what is really going on there? Would you and Anna ever do a life coaching Zoom or question lives as a collab? Oh, Eliza. Is that's your life coach? I haven't looked into her, but yeah, I know you work with her in coaching. I do have guest speakers on in the coaching that I do and stuff like that, and I know you're in the women's group. So I would definitely be open to having a conversation with her about it for sure. I definitely want to learn more about like what she does, what she specializes in, and I'd be more than open to do something with her. So yeah, Eliza, if you want to like send me her number or whatever the best way to connect with her would be, yeah, for sure. Ixon said, "Are you shivering?" A little bit. I'm a little bit cold out here. I lost my math genius after Calc 2. I didn't even get that far. I'd never taken calculus. How do I get the motivation to get productive when I don't see meaning in life? Well, you're in the nihilistic stage. You're like, okay, life doesn't feel like it has purpose, feel like I'm stuck, it doesn't matter, all that type of stuff. That's not particularly true. It just feels like it is. Right? It's not an objective truth, at least by our perception of research and how we view humanity at this point in time. But it's a valid feeling. So, the question is, what do you want to be productive with? If you're trying to be productive with things that you don't care about, it's challenging to do, but you have to schedule things in your calendar, and so when you have to do something for an hour, just do it for 15 minutes. Start a lot smaller than you usually would. But also start to find things that you connect to, that you're passionate about, that you really care about. That's going to be a really good start for you, Kyle, because then you start to feel a little bit of natural motivation because you desire to do the thing. You're not just doing it for the sake of doing it. But most of us are going throughout our lives, I'm going to be going to school, I'm going to be working this job, I'm going to be running this business, I'm going to be doing this and be in this relationship because it's just what I'm supposed to do. It's just what is productive by everybody else's standard except mine. And then you live your life exceptionally disconnected. And that's not a fun experience to have. Right? So Kyle, if you want to like dive into this deeper, shoot me a follow, shoot me a DM. Would love to dive into it further with you and kind of see where you can start to find it for yourself. Brooke said, how did you become a life coach? That's a very good question. So I was diagnosed with depression at 13 years old. Dealt with it until I was about 16. Was able to completely overcome it. Got obsessed with self-growth, relationships, spirituality, psychology, philosophy. So for the next 7 years of my life, and I started my coaching practice now, and I've helped over 100 men and women transform their lives, and I'm super grateful to be able to do what I do. And I think one of the main reasons, and almost only, not the only reason, but one of the main reasons I care about coaching so much and helping you guys transform your lives is because I know what it's like to be in that dark spot. I know what it's like to feel like you don't know where to go and you're stuck and you feel that way. It's going to be that way forever. It's not true, but I know how it feels. So that's why I care about it so much. Yes, she's your life coach. I can send you a DM. Sounds good. You failed English. I know I'm not good at English, even though I was born in New England. But obviously, you can absolutely, all this stuff is to work on for all of us. How to structure your day well with ADD. Don't try and do things, like, how would I word this? Don't try and do it all at once. When you have a task that you're like, oh, I got to do this for 6 hours straight, don't try to do it for 6 hours straight. Do it for less time and give yourself time for yourself too. Give yourself 10 to 15 minute breaks. That could really help you out, Herney. If you want to dive into that further, shoot me a follow, shoot me a DM about it. How do I deal with a relationship where I feel like I need to put in more effort? Okay, all right, when you feel like you need to put in more effort, have you had a conversation with them about this? Because again, a lot of relationships, people struggle with communication sometimes, but it is very important for you guys to reciprocate your love, to reciprocate your care and the actions and show each other that rather than just talking about it. So where do you feel like you're putting in more effort and they're feeling stuck? Because the most integrative relationship bridges this naturally, and you guys are just confidently expressing yourself, meeting each other's needs, communicating, but it is stuff that people challenge with. So where do you feel like they're falling short? And we can dive into it further. Oh my God, yes, I learned that from Dr. K / Healthy Game. Dr. K, I like Dr. K. I don't watch him consistently, but he's got some really good stuff, Brooke. He's got some really good stuff. Appreciate the follows, guys. I want to be a life coach. What do you specialize in, or is it just anything? So yeah, I'm in my early 20s. Brooke, I specialize in like self-growth, relationships, spirituality, confidence, insecurities, finding your passion, invoking creativity, getting more connected, like a lot of stuff like that. I work with men and women both. Yeah, Brooke, if you're like interested in being like a life coach yourself, feel free to shoot me. I know you already follow me. Feel free to shoot me a DM. I could just like shoot you over like how I got into it and, you know, some good places to start. Kareem, this is a good question. Thoughts on looks maxing. So the actual culture, like from Clavicular and stuff like that, it's not very natural, and he's spent a lot of money on himself, and he also takes drugs and stuff like that. So I would not recommend that in any way, shape, or form. But when it comes to looks maxing, and you're trying to get in the gym, you're trying to make your physique better, you're trying to do things of that nature, that's great. Some of the looks maxing stuff on the technical level, it gets a little bit too complicated, and you start to become insecure because you're just focusing on your looks and you feel like that's the only thing that matters, which is not true. It's of course a part of it. You need to focus on looking better. Run said, do you believe in God? I do. I don't subscribe to a particular religion, but yeah, I do believe in God. Y'all have beef with this coach. He does lots of mistakes. I respect him, but he's rude. He is trying to... yeah, chill gamer, the rest of your comment didn't go through for some reason. All right, Madison, welcome in. Any advice, relationship with someone who's depressed, stage, lack of motivation, they only play games. Okay. Well, have you had a conversation, how long have you been in a relationship with them, and when you first started dating them, were they still experiencing this, or is this a recent thing that they're struggling with? And when you say lack of motivation for me, he's like lack of motivation to show up for you. I mean, look, it's important to support your partner during difficult times and when they're struggling mentally, absolutely. But your needs need to be met too, obviously. You can't be fully neglected. So yeah, how long has this been going on? Madison? Let's dive into it. TikTok said, who is clavicular? You just look him up. He's quote unquote the #1 looks maxer. It's true what you're saying, and yeah, you're right, 100% insecurity if you keep focusing on it. I'm glad it resonates, Kareem. Yeah, feel free to shoot me a follow, bro. Would love to see you back in here. How long after no contact should you reach out? I'm not a fan of no contact. When me and my girlfriend first started dating, I said, what do you think about no contact? Probably like a week or two into us dating, and we were both on the same page. I don't agree with it. If you're in a relationship, you work on your problems. If you're going through difficult times, you don't break up, work on yourself, then get back together. You guys work on these things together. It's exceptionally important to do that. So, but here's the thing, Andreas, why did you guys go no contact in the first place? Right? Is it for space, for distance? Did someone cheat? Like, why did you guys go no contact? That's going to help me point you in the right direction. Madison said almost 5 years, and not really recent, but it's been worse. Okay, Madison, what is he currently doing to kind of help himself through this? Any advice on accepting? I'll always be sick in my time. Okay, Talene, that's a really sensitive topic, so I'd highly recommend you shoot me a follow and a DM about this, because this is going to go really deep into vulnerability, and I want to get really clear on your exact situation before I try and point you in a certain direction. Any advice for someone who's ill and disabled? Well, what is the disability that you have? How is this infringing on you? What are you able to do? We talked about it a lot, and he's going through a mental struggle, and I feel selfish. I mean, yeah, look, Madison, you're not selfish. You have needs, and he has needs too, right? You're not being selfish, but, you know, being with someone for 5 years and not having your needs met, it can't go on forever. There needs to be some sort of flexibility from his end, even though he's struggling, right? So you're obviously considerate of that. But there needs to be some balance of him showing up for you. Where do you feel like he's not showing up for you, Madison? Where do you feel like he can improve? Says he's just trying to do something that makes him happy and keeps him busy. Can do some physical things per day, but need breaks and rest. You have surgeries often. Okay. What is it that you connect to? I want to chase my dream, but I'm afraid I'll fail. Do you have any advice for me? It's good that you're afraid that you're going to fail because you're acknowledging reality. There's a possibility of failure with anything. Now, here's the thing with chasing your dreams. You have to be delusional. I was delusional. I dropped out of university. What did everyone in my personal life say? What are you doing? You're not qualified. You can't coach people. You can't help people out, right? And it was a struggle for the first like 6 to 8 months. Like I didn't know what I was doing, and then I figured it out. I was so delusional, in some ways, that I just made it work. And you have to be like that for your dreams, because most people are not going to support you through it. So you got to support yourself. He'll spend time with me if I beg him to, but he doesn't even ever want to by himself. Yeah, is it that, or is it also that he isn't super in connection with you, right? There's a lot of stuff to dive into. Yeah, Madison, I'd highly recommend you shoot me a follow and shoot me a DM about like the in-depths of this so we can really dive into it. All right, Andreas, let's see. We did no contact because we've been together for 3 years, from 15 to 18, and she wanted to try life without you. Yeah, she doesn't want to be with you. Try life without you? That's not a committed relationship. That's I'll come back to you when I feel like it. That's very disconnected, and you're not a priority for her. What do you mean what I connect to? Yeah, overstress. I mean, like, what do you connect to doing in your daily life that can help you feel more connected if there's a lot of illness going on and a lot of surgeries? Like, what can you do to help yourself feel more connected? Uran said, live dark life and no relationship and no road, so will do. Huh? I don't... What do you say? How to start Life Coach Max channel tips. That's good. That's funny. Hanno said, I have a question. Sounds good. Let's dive into it. Any motivational tips? Can't make myself move with little free time. All right. Well, it's because you're probably overwhelmed in the other areas of life, and you're not giving yourself any free time, that little free time, to anything that you fully connect to. It's just, I need to get into the next work task, or I just need to do this thing, or the responsibilities. Like, you need to give something to yourself. Don't just give to other people 24/7, right? It's good to do that. But don't do it. Don't do it just for other people. You have to start to connect to you. And Mandy, if you want to, I know you're in the women's group. If you want to set up like another one-on-one session, we could dive into it together. Shoot me a DM. More self-care, take walks. That is something you can physically handle as walks. There you go. That's a good first step for you. Overstressed. Good first step. How Ray said, how often are free women's groups with you? Oh yeah, Ray. The women's group, we meet every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we meet once a week, and then once we have about 35 women in the women's group at the moment. Once we have maybe like 50 plus members, we'll probably like add another call during the week, so we have 2 sessions and stuff like that. But right now, we meet once a week in the women's group. What do I think if that I fail everything I would have done to chase my dream would be for nothing? Say that. Wait, can you rephrase that, Evan? What if I think that if I fail everything I would have done to chase my dream, it would be for nothing? Oh, well, here's the thing. If the dream is genuinely that connected to your soul, like what is the dream, Evan? What is it that you're pushing towards? I'll give you my perspective. How can I overcome the overwhelm with meal planning? Stop overcomplicating it for yourself. Take 3 hours out of a Sunday night, if you're depending on what you're cooking, maybe just an hour and a half. Cook a bunch of stuff for the week and just do it. Right? You don't have to overcomplicate the meal planning. Don't overcomplicate it. Just set a time. Just do it. Don't try and I got to do it this day. And like no. Just set up one particular time, and maybe 2 times a week, whatever it is. Warner said, does a life coach have to have a license, or can anyone do it? Technically, anyone can do it. That's what makes the coaching industry very, it's very unregulated, and it also, of course, since technically anyone can brand themselves as a life coach, it does leave more room for there to be pretty bad coaches out there. So yeah, life coaches don't need a license but they're also not, life coaches aren't in the medical industry, right? They're not therapists. They're not psychologists. They're not psychiatrists. They don't prescribe medication. They don't deal with specific diagnoses. So that's why you don't technically need a license for it. Content creation. Well, Evan, if it's content creation, shoot me a DM about this. Let's dive into it. CJ said, I'm not doing the best in school, but I already have planned to enlist in the U.S. Air Force. What do I do? Do you need to have a certain grade level to be in the Air Force? Is that what the situation is here? My dog needs hair products. What do you think? Thanos, I don't specialize in specific, what's it called? I don't specialize in like dog products. Warner said, how do you know you get a good one? Oh, like how do you know you get a good life coach? That's a good question. Well, you definitely want to look at their background, how long they've been doing this, who they've helped, do they have examples of that? Like, for example, I have over 50 men in my men's group, I have over 35 women in my women's group, and I have a ton of one-on-one clients that I have. So, people, and I do everything in my coaching practice, like on a subscription level, month to month. So anyone who pays me anything renews their subscription every single month. So I do that because it's like, Here's the say. A lot of coaches do like $3,000 program. You need to be with me for 6 months. Sign the contract. I just do it every month because if I'm not showing up for the client and they're not benefiting, they'll leave. And the fact that most of my clients stay shows me that I'm doing something for them. Somebody and also a life coach who doesn't, like, they challenge you, but they don't fully try to infringe their beliefs like onto you and convince you of things. It's more of an invitation, as well as seeing what your vision is of how to reach the best version of yourself and them helping you get there. That's at least like my purpose. Oh my God, no. I don't charge $3,000 a month. My services are $25 a month, anywhere in between there and like $500 a month. Like, there's people who pay me a lot of money, people who pay me barely anything. There's all options for coaching. But yeah, there's certain people that obviously, one of my coaches actually, I'm not in this particular program, but he charges like $10,000 to $12,000 for like an eight-week program. I just pay him a couple $100 a month. Let's see. Tim, I missed your question. I apologize. I didn't even see it. I got a new job making $100K a year. Awesome. Should I buy a new car or get an apartment first? Probably apartment if you already have a car. You don't need to get the car instantaneously. That's what the mistake a lot of people make when they start to make good money. They're like, I just need to buy a nice car and I got to get this. And that's not a priority. If you have a car, you have means of transportation. That's not a number one priority. Don't just jump into it. You have to get accustomed to making that money since you haven't made that much money before, and make sure you use it properly. Evan said you probably wouldn't respond though. Evan, I respond to every single person that DMs me. If you DM me, I'm gonna respond to you. I don't ignore anybody. I literally, before I just jumped on this live, I didn't have that many coaching sessions today. I had it kind of open. So I've literally been answering DMs for the last 2 hours. I'm going to get back to you, dude. I answer all DMs. CJ, it's just my parents always on my head about school. Well, how can you start to level up? How can you start to actually do better about it? And do you want to? That's also something to dive into. What is my morning routine like? To be honest, mine is very simple. I wake up, I post my short form video for the day. I do some sort of physical activity, whether it's a gym, walk, run, and then I get to work. That's my morning routine. I don't do anything special. I don't do like cold plunge and then work out and then meditate and then read 60 pages. Like I don't do all that stuff. I used to, and it benefited me for sure. But running 2 businesses, I don't got time to do a crazy morning routine every single day anymore. Hey, so I'm worried a lot about what would happen if she talked to another guy. How do I trust her? You need faith that she won't talk to somebody else, and having conversations about this to be intentional together. And this also feeds into insecurity. Let's see. Overstressed said, oh wow, okay. I definitely know you have to make it worth it, but yes, that seemed a lot. Oh yeah, absolutely. Why can't I forget about her? Why do I still love her? Because you care about her, and there's nothing wrong with that, Henry. But you haven't forgotten about her because you're still emotionally attached. You haven't given yourself enough time, effort, and energy to process this. And Henry, if you're struggling with that, shoot me a follow, shoot me a DM. I have 2 pieces of lecture material I can send over to you. One's about processing heartbreak. The other one's about processing pain. All right, cool. Welcome in, everybody. Overstressed said, what is included in the monthly subscription, or what do you help people with? Oh yeah, good question. So like self-growth, relationships, spirituality, confidence, insecurities, communication, relationship dynamics, connecting to your faith, creativity, passion. I think I already said that. I do a lot of different things with coaching. Is boundaries included? 100%. Yeah, how to set up boundaries with people, boundaries with yourself, different relationships in particular, for sure. So yeah, I mean, look, Overstressed, I do like monthly subscriptions for group coaching stuff. I do one-on-one stuff. It's all completely personalized. And also I can do some stuff to help you out. Like every single intro coaching session I do with somebody is completely free. So Overstressed, if you're like if you're struggling with things in particular, you're not sure if you want to like actually do further coaching with me, there's no obligation. If you just want to hop on a session together, it's completely free. We meet for an hour. We go over your situation. I give you a ton of actionable steps that you can practically take. And if we want to talk about further coaching after that, we totally can. Always up to you. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Yeah, my feet are my feet are frozen. My these 2 fingers are frozen. The other ones aren't. And yeah. Do you have evenings or sessions only during the day? Oh yeah, Overstressed. I do actually do during the weekdays most of my coaching sessions in the evenings. I also do them on the weekends too. I coach 7 days a week. But yeah, I do a lot of sessions in the evenings. How do you get a girlfriend? Step 1, talk to a girl. In all seriousness, you want to really evaluate for yourself, what do I want in a relationship? What do I want in somebody? Can I meet their needs? Am I currently meeting my own needs? Right? These are a bunch of different things and categories you want to dive into. Good place to start. And also, Evan, I can shoot you over some dating material as well I've done in my group coaching for men that could really help you out. I've been working out for a week consistently now. Congrats. And I've slowly been working out less and less. Okay. Well, it's probably because you've been doing it consistently, and you're not sure if you can keep it up. Um, have you been going 7 days a week? Because that might be what's keeping you stuck. Is you're sometimes when you first start, you're overshooting. Sometimes you want to make the goals a little bit smaller. Question: I've never been interested in dating, but guys always ask me out. What do I do? Well, if you're genuinely not interested in dating, there's nothing for you to change. But what I would invite you to do is, if you're not interested in dating at all, question is why? Is it that I genuinely don't want to be with someone, or is it that I don't feel like I'm enough, or I don't have a good relationship with men, or don't not a good perception of them? Like, there's a lot of usually deeper components to dive into this when you don't want to date. But it could also be a time in your life where you just want to be single and build by yourself. But at the same time, when we reject romantic relationships entirely and dating entirely, there's usually something deeper going on that we can kind of interact with. Let's see. Hold up. Trying to approve this comment. There we go. Gut instinct. Oh wait, it's not. It's not any of that. Some have done things that aren't okay, and boundaries have been crossed and stuff like that. Things that they've done that isn't okay. Those are valid reasons, but that's not in the conversation explicitly for dating. It's for the people that you've interacted with, and you can find people that don't do those things. For example, gut instinct versus intuition. Which to trust? TikTok, it's the same thing. Your gut instinct and your intuition, if that seems like a perception of a difference between the two, there's a big split going on. There's a disconnection between where your mind is at and where your heart is, between your logic and your emotions. So, TikTok, I know you've been on here pretty consistently. I know you don't follow me. If you want to follow me, feel free to do so. Shoot me a DM. I did a whole 1-hour lecture on integrating splits, essentially like the philosophical stuff around gut instincts, intuition, heart, and mind. I can shoot that over to you. I want to work out, but I lack motivation. How do I learn to do it anyway? Well, you have to connect to deep reasons as to why you want to do it. Like, if I did get in the gym and I started working out, what would that do for me? How would I feel? What would my energy level look like? What would my body look like? You have to really connect to the deep vision and connect to it of whatever works for you to get yourself just a little bit motivated to start doing it, and start small. I've tried to take a break from working out and I feel exhausted. Don't try and overcomplicate it. Break it down to small. Go to the gym. If you're struggling to go to the gym for 7 days a week, go for 2 days a week. Go for 3 days a week. Break it down smaller. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. You got frame mogged. How can I recover? Yeah, this is crazy. You got frame mogged. How can you recover? Brother, you've already recovered. It's just living in your mind. It's not in reality. You're chilling. You are chilling, my brother. You're good. Alright, everybody. Wise words. Glad it resonates, man. Glad it resonates. Don't let it live in your head. It's not here anymore. Be present. What should I eat for dinner, guys? That's the question of the evening. What do I eat for dinner? Do humans have free will, or are our choices determined by our biology and our environment? Evan, I think it's a mix of all of them. I think we have free will. I also think there's biological subconscious protocols and wirings, and also in our environment. So I think it's a mix of all three, Evan. People debate it to the end of eternity, saying it's one over the other. We don't have free will at all. I think it's a mix of everything. That's what's really interesting. Hi, Brad. Why are you putting yourself through the cold? Good question, Rue. Welcome in. I don't know. I was at the library and I'm like, I don't want to do my live in my house like I usually do. So figured I'd get out, and it's been almost an hour. My feet are frozen. 2 of my fingers are frozen. We're probably gonna stay on here for another like 10 minutes, and then I'll dip out of here, get warm. Like the stream, share, and tap. Appreciate you, Tomo. Appreciate you very much. Can happiness exist without suffering, or are the two inseparable? These are really good questions, Evan. Happiness is a fleeting emotion, just like sadness is. It's not going to be present 24/7. But there's always going to be a degree of suffering that you need to. Here's the thing. Suffering teaches you gratitude, and when you suffer, you get to see how much happiness is really worth when you've seen the opposite side of the spectrum. So I think they can exist separately, but even if you're a happy person overall, it's not like you never suffer. But here's the thing. Oh, here's the thing, actually. For the most part, there's a difference between suffering and pain. Suffering is consistent, pain is temporary. And sometimes we're creating more suffering for ourselves than we really need to, based on prolonging that pain, based on the way we view certain things, or the action that we don't take. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. Alright, I'm absolutely freezing, so I'm going to start